Yes, you will.
Nope.
You will do it, Meth.
It's your job.
No.
Time for a little blah, 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 with a little bit of yada, yada, yada. Nudge, nudge, know what I mean? It's time for the BCN team. Here's your host with the most. It's Gerry time with Martin and Danny. It's Gerry time with Martin and Danny. It's Gerry time. It's Gerry time.
Gerry, did you do a "Who's Your Daddy" line on Martine? On that obviously AI song? If we're doing AI songs today, can I bring up some stuff? I found some fucking hilarious ones, man. I mean, you are muted, Gerry, or busy with anything else except this show.
No, I'm not muted.
That's a first that I hear a new intro live on the show.
I have to do a bunch of tech stuff behind the scenes here so I can start drawing.
Don't you have a producer?
Not on my computer.
You!
Not on his end, to set up the camera and shit.
Yeah, I got to do that on my own.
4 or 5 months, and this is the first time I managed to actually upset Martine.
That's because he's sick. His skin is a little funny right now.
Go away. I'm not joking. Just I mean, I can leave too, but go away, Martine. If you're sick, leave.
What the fuck are you leaving to you?
He took a sick day yesterday.
Yes, and that's enough.
He's very strict with himself.
You're worse than me. I go to work sick.
I learned not to do that.
I cough on the rats.
Oh, that's mean. One thing is cough on your coworkers, but not on the rats.
Oh, I never cough on my coworkers, even if I'm not sick.
I passed out once on the way home and came to in an ambulance, and that taught me not to go to work with a fever. That was not fun.
No. Not with a fever. If I have a fever, that's home. That's no way. If I have a fever, I can't really function. I can barely sit.
Neither can I.
I've got a fever.
Then leave.
Low cowbell.
Look, I'm not in the Marines. I'm not in the Corps. So I'm allowed to, if I'm actually sick, to stay home. Because you don't want me at work.
Nobody should go to work sick.
Yeah.
You're not functioning properly, and you're endangering the others of catching the shit that you're having.
My endangering of others actually sums up with just the one guy. And the issue is, if the one guy is sick and it's because of me, I suffer because I have to do his job. Oh. When I'm sick, he's not doing my job. It's the the university students who do my job. Wait, I have to pick my face. Hold.
Whoa.
Yeah, I had something in my teeth. Yeah. That's not very I mean, it's good for radio. That's why I tend not to eat on stream, but I really ate breakfast, and it was the croissant that my wife bought for me. Didn't really eat much. And I had a very light dinner too, so I just need some food. And of course, it's, a little bit of carb.
Penny is here, and she lost a cat yesterday. I'm so sorry, Penny.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, Penny.
My condolences, Penny.
That's the worst thing about having pets. They give you so much joy, but inevitably there comes the day when they break your heart.
actually kind of fits with the movie I reviewed, The Age of Adeline, which is funny because I never thought about it before, but they use the dog. She has a dog, like a certain kind of dog, but it's not the same one. She just gets another one, and inevitably he ends his life. And throughout the decades, she gets another one and another one and another one. And I forgot that's how you kind of calculate the passage of time, even though they kind of tell you what year it is every time, but you get a nice visual cue within the movie when she's like opening the book and she's got lots of little pictures of the same dog, but it's different dogs.
That's interesting.
It's Harrison Ford is in it, and it's got that kid that actually looks and acts like Harrison Ford when he was younger. He was one of the actors that was up for Han Solo.
I wish they would have brought him for Han Solo, but he also has it's like connection. Well, he was on Game of Thrones, but he was replacing a different actor in the same role. They kind of recast the role. I think what was it? It was Dario Naharis. It was yeah. It was the Dragon Queen's, one of the mercenaries that she had was Dario Naharis. Now, Dario Naharis is a sellsword, is a mercenary. She picks up along her way when she's on the other continent. She's basically gathering her army to go back and retake Asteros, which is the country we know. And in the first time we meet him, I don't remember the name of the actor. I might pull it up, but it's the guy who plays Ajax in Deadpool, but he also has a really good role in Midway. He plays like the lead guy in Midway. He's a British actor. He's really good.
Yes,
he's got a very stern face.
I'm looking for his name.
Yeah, just do
he
Deadpool Ajax.
Yes, he was in that monstrosity that Rebel Moon. Whoa.
Yes, he was the main villain in Rebel Moon, which it did sadden me because he's a really good actor. To be fair, in Rebel Moon, he was the best thing. He was the best thing.
It's I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher this. Ed Skrein.
Yeah, Ed Skrein.
Dude,
he is really good.
Two Dario Naharis were on Rebel Moon. The other one too.
Yes, they both played in the same. Yes, in Rebel Moon, one of them played the good role, and one of them played the bad role, and they both were Dario Naharis. The other guy's name is Michael Hoyson. Michael Hoyson.
Sander has a question for you, Gerry.
Yes.
Yeah.
He says Gerry's still in his ginger afro face. Absolutely. Yes. That is a must now.
Oh, right. He was in Alita too at screen.
He wasn't. I haven't seen Alita.
Neither have I.
It's okay. Well, I liked it.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things. Like some people liked it, some people didn't like it. So it always worth checking, to be fair. But like I've never seen like Captain Marvel, but it's not for me. So I'm not gonna. I don't even care if it's good or bad.
I mean, I read the first batch of mangas. I saw the animation, the animated OVAs, and the adaptation of Cameron, of the live action adaptation, is very, very, very close to the original.
All right.
However, of course, if the story doesn't attract you, it doesn't mean shit if it's got a good or a bad adaptation. But
Yeah.
I like the story.
Okay. Yeah, I've literally in the past couple of years, I've learned to not automatically like cancel stuff that I might like, or like I don't know
Yeah.
what is going on, and
Like,
I really love going into a movie not knowing anything. So I look, if the adaptation is good or bad, I would know after I've already watched the movie. That's the best sort of scenario for me.
What you just said is a privilege that I lost by being with Gerry.
the what?
So he'll tell you if the
I'm
adaptation is good or bad.
he's not watching stuff with me for the first time. He's checking it out first to see if it's worth my time.
Oh, okay.
And he'll already give me some info beforehand. And I'm okay with it. I'm just even when
Hey,
I'm over
Sanders
there,
here.
we will probably never just go to the movie theater to see something and not know anything about it. That's not going to happen.
Why?
Now, San,
Oh, no, never mind.
okay, Sander, I heard they were in fact preparing for a sequel, but after seeing Avatar 2, well, I don't know if I want a sequel to Alita.
To be fair, if I only saw Avatar 2 because my wife's workplace, I told you it's a big corporation. They literally bought the entire theater, and they sort of they ask everybody, what time do you want to show up? So there was a 9 o'clock showing, a 1 o'clock showing, so 9 a.m., a 1 p.m., and a 5 p.m., I think, showing for all the different movies that were on at the same time. One of them was Avatar, the Avatar 2.
Mm.
And you cannot not come. So it's an
No.
outside of work activity, but it's for the workers and their spouses and their children, and it's a very kids oriented, family oriented thing. Plus, it's a chance to go out and watch a movie. So in the past couple of years, they've been doing that, and 2 years ago we went to see Avatar because it's the only one that kind of interested us. This time around, it was like Sonic 3, Wicked. What was on at the time? Don't remember. But me and my boy went to see Sonic, and it ended up being the dubbed version of Sonic, which I just fell asleep during the movie. I was so tired, and it was like a 1 o'clock showing. And my wife took my daughter to see Wicked. My daughter liked the musical Wicked. She didn't like the movie. And my wife was like, Wicked is such a dumb, overblown movie. If they didn't set it enough in the weird and mystical Oz, they set it here just with a song version. And without having any frame of reference, she's a complete normie. No, she doesn't know any woke stuff. She doesn't know anything about anything. Okay. She doesn't not care. She said that the white chick has serious food issues. And I said,
Oh yeah.
the hell you say? And I said, well, that's Ariana Grande. And she's like, that's
Not
Ariana
anymore.
Grande? And I said, uh-huh. It's like,
Well, she's
yeah,
not Grande anymore.
she is not Grande.
They
She
both are
is-
anorexic, if you ask me. They're both so skinny.
Yes, it's worrisome. To be honest, it's worrisome seeing someone get like that.
I really like the musical Wicked. I'm never going to see that movie. I'm not interested.
Yeah, my daughter was really disappointed, and she loved the musical. And she said, "Why did they Why did they make it so long? And B, why was it a part 1 and not tell us? It didn't say part 1. It just said Wicked." And people were really upset coming out of that movie. I could tell. And like, I didn't go because I hate musicals. I just don't like any musical. Like, I like Grease, but most of that movie is, it's fine. My whole point is without having any frame of reference of the internet world, Twitter, all that stuff, social media, she saw a chick and she's like, that chick needs food because she is going to disappear.
Yeah, she clearly has an eating disorder.
Yeah, it's not.
I think it started with a bomb attack at her concert. But she has issues ever since. No, I don't think any doctor would give her.
She should get over it. I had a bus blow up on my face, and I'm not fucking crazy like that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're crazy in a whole different other kind of way.
Shanatsky.
Hi, Shanatsky. Gambit is here too.
Where is it? There, here it is. There you go. I never forget you, my friend.
Anyway, all that conversation just to say Avatar 2 sucks.
Yes.
I have no interest.
I like the first one. I went to the movie with such high hope, and then I was.
Yeah, that badly disappointed you. Everyone in your house is such a fan of Avatar.
Who really is a fan of Avatar? Like, really? The story. The story?
Everyone in Martine's house, apparently.
Yeah.
Let's go 3 steps backwards. What is the opposite of gordita? The opposite. Martin knows. You know what gordita means, right?
Fat girl.
It's a certain kind of
but there's a dish too here. So that's why I'm asking.
It's a what?
Dish.
A dish. Food.
No. I mean the overblown fat chick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what's the opposite of that?
Flaquita.
In Mexican Spanish. Because there is no such a word in like Spanish.
Yes.
What's the word?
Flaquita. And it's
that's perfect. See, that is Ariana Grande. Flaquita.
Oh no, that's beyond Flaquita. Let me tell you.
What's the word to skeleton in Spanish?
Yeah, that would be fitting too.
And if you say skeleton, it's not. That's not a word.
No, it's esqueleto.
See?
Yeah, esqueleto.
See?
Now you sound like a Mexican immigrant.
See?
They only say see.
Dave Chappelle had a joke a long time ago. I don't remember if it was from the first special or the second special. He talked about like the first black president. And he said, if anybody wants to be the first black president, he has to have an immigrant, not immigrant. He said a Mexican vice president. That is only to not get shot on the first day. That was the joke. And he said he has this moment where he's like says his speech. Hello, my fellow Americans. Blah 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 blah. Me and my vice president Santiago, and he's pointing at him, and He's like, see, that was it. Just I was on the floor. Holy shit! Go watch that. Go watch that. The first 2 specials that he did, I think both of them are on YouTube. Well, technically, I think it's I don't want to say pirated version, but it's like it's been 20 years, I guess. It's really funny.
If it's been that long, who cares?
Oh,
Been out for
you know
20
what? You know
years,
what's
so-
crazy? His first 2 specials are pretty relevant because he's not talking too topical.
Okay.
I think in one of them, Clinton is the president because it's like early 2000s.
Shenotsky, nobody says that Jake Sully was barely intelligent at all. It's very clear in the movie.
What are we talking about?
Avatar.
Jake Sully, the Avatar's
Avatar.
protagonist, that he's half brain dead.
Oh yeah. That guy's defective.
I mean, he's got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
That doesn't make you stupid, losing a function of your legs.
Oh no! Apparently, Lieutenant Dan was a really smart person. If you look at if you look what he did in the movie, it's like Lieutenant Dan bought me a fruit company. It's like it's Apple, dude. he's like your best
What?
investor and stuff. Like, yeah.
Oh, you haven't
Lieutenant
seen
Dan.
Forrest Gump?
Oh no! I just ruined. I thought you did.
I have, like 100 years ago,
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
with
So I
my
didn't-
mom.
I
It
mean,
was
I
one of the
didn't
rare
complete-
phases where her husband would go on tour for I think a week or 2 weeks, and mom would let us get the TV from the basement. So we'd be a normal family, and then before he came back, the TV had to go back down there.
Ay. You know
I
what?
had a sad childhood. I know.
There's I don't know if she's still doing it. She probably is. There's a chick from, I think she's from like Tennessee or something, and she started a YouTube channel where she reacts to movies for the very first time because she's one of those kids who, like, I don't want to say trailer trash, but she hasn't seen a lot of movies and she's a millennial. So she's not like super young. She's, I don't know, 32, 31, whatever. But she started a YouTube channel and everybody liked her reactions. So it just took off. And to be fair, it was one of those channels where it actually inspired me to actually open up my channel, my movie channel. It's weird.
We get that here in a way that people say they envy me for being able to have all these movies that we're talking about as first watches, or most of them.
Yeah.
So people like that.
Yeah,
But
of course.
some people still get the first watch of something that's been out there for I don't know how many years.
Because it's, I was really curious, and I actually did want one of those channels to come on our show, but it's so crazy. Some people just can't handle live streams. I don't mean particularly
a lot of people
her,
don't like that. Yeah.
but a lot of these reaction channels, one of them actually said yes. He was like a decently big channel, 100. He was, I think, 140K at the time, and he was like, he's an okay dude. I mean, I don't remember what it's called, Marcus something. And he said yes, and he didn't have a Twitter. He has like an Instagram thing, but his DMs were open. So I sent him a message, and he said, "That sounds interesting." It's like, okay, cool. Can we figure out something? And he said, yeah. And it was back in the day where we didn't actually have a theme for a month. We just said, well, in this coming month, we're gonna do this movie. And I told him, look, we're pretty open to whatever you want, and what we can do is if you haven't seen a specific movie, you can react to it, and then we'll like coordinate where you've already published your video and you'll be on the show. We'll talk about the movie more in depth, where it kind of covers, you did the reaction and now you can talk to us about it. And we can just put your video in the description where we just send people to you anyway. Or your audience will just like come on our show and watch you live. And he said, well, that sounds interesting. And I said, look, I understand that I'm really like a really small channel. I think I had like 120 subscribers. I was like, I understand the whole clout thing, but I'm not really chasing any clout. I just want to, I actually genuinely want to talk to people who watched movies that I've watched many times. Like it's their first time watch. You've got an angle that I don't have. And it brings an extra thing to the conversation where this is what I want from the show. It's a book club with movies. I want it on my show. And at the last, I think a week and a half before, he said he has like family issues. And I said, okay, no problem. We'll like coordinate another time. I waited a month. And I hit him back, and he said, well, I don't feel comfortable going like live. Can we record it, pre-record it?
Chickened out.
And I said, I don't do that. I don't do pre-record. He said, well, then I can't join. It's like, okay, yes.
That sucks.
I don't remember if I told him that he doesn't need a camera or not. I think I did, but I don't remember. The whole point for me is not the camera. The whole point for me is the show, because it generally, I call it a podcast, but it generally is a show, not really a podcast. But it's just people talking, so it's not really an issue. Whatever I put on screen is, it's not a big deal if I don't put it on screen.
Unless it's one of your games where you have to show stuff.
Yeah, that's the only thing. The
impossible to play for me games.
Yeah, well.
So, Gerry, what can you tell us about this frame or the page in general? Because this guy I have never seen.
It's Bill.
Bootstrap Bill?
No.
I hope not.
Aaron Douglas from Battlestar Galactica signed a likeness agreement for him to be in the book, and that's who it is.
Oh, the chief mechanic?
Yeah.
Are you getting closer to the end, Gerry? You got a lot.
Yeah.
He is working like crazy.
Didn't I send you the link to view all the pages?
No.
Hold on.
Oh, no. Don't stop. Don't stop. You can send it to me later. I don't want to.
I'll forget later. I have to do it right when I'm thinking of it.
I'll remind
I'll
you.
remind
Shut
you.
up. Shut up. I'm already doing it.
He's a stubborn son of a bitch.
Can't stop, won't stop. Look, Anima, you don't understand. Gerry, just quick question. When were you born? Like
year?
No, the date, not the year.
May 19th.
I don't want to.
May 19th.
May 19th. Fuck, man. Okay, right. I got you.
Oh, don't tell me you're not a horoscope man.
I'm not horoscope man. I am a great believer in the power of personality. And
well, surprise! I'm a Taurus too.
You know what's crazy, Martin? It's hocus pocus. It's really hocus pocus. Until you meet enough people, right?
Some of it is true, yeah.
And people have archetypes. Okay? People have archetypes. It so happened to be that people who were born in between certain dates act relatively the same when they deal with people, situations, and all that stuff. Okay?
Yeah, that's called common cultural upbringing.
No.
Look, there's being hard-headed and there's being hard-headed. Like if we would have met IRL, okay, and spent some time together, about a month, okay? After a month with close contact, okay, not fucking, but close contact where we're doing some sort of activity, as in going out into the supermarket, dealing with people, talking on the phone with, like, you listen to me, talk to other people on the phone, dealing with certain people, dealing with certain ways. After about a month, you kind of get the gist of who the person is, how dirty they are, how, put together they are, all that stuff. And then, without knowing any astrology, maps, all that stuff, I'll tell you certain things, and you're like, yeah, I can see that in him. If I tell you the wrong things, you'll pick it up. So it's not like, I'm just telling you some stuff. No. Oh, somebody's hunting me down. Holy shit.
What do you mean hunting you down?
Yeah, somebody's hunting me down in the game with a big dreadnought. So if I'll tell you the wrong things, you're gonna say, that's not the guy I know, just to throw you off. But then I'll say the things that kind of align with, generally speaking, the star sign. You're like, yeah, he's kind of this, but not really that. And you're sort of in the ballpark, but not really specific. It goes a little bit deeper than that. Because it's not just where the stars are aligned. It's where the sun is where the moon is. And it's not because it's hocus pocus. It's people who have been looking at the stars and saying, okay, between this date and this date, the people who got older, got mature, because you can't do it on children. It doesn't work on children because your brain isn't there. And they figure that out too. After you've matured, you kind of settle into who you are as a person. There's some changes, and your political alignment changes, your day-to-day changes. You don't necessarily think the same. The older you get, you tend to be a little bit more conservative, generally speaking. But in terms of the day-to-day stuff that has nothing to do with politics or art or entertainment, is like your day-to-day who you are. Kind of is, relatively speaking, the same. And because there's a slight difference, the moon, the earth goes around the sun, but it doesn't go exactly in the same route. It goes a little bit off one side, a little bit the other side. It tilts and all that stuff. You get variations of people. So you get something like, oh, you're a Gemini. But like me, I'm a Gemini, but this is technical. In the first house, I'm also a Leo. And you're like, wait, you're confusing me. Yeah, it's depending on the time where you were born, the sun is at a different position in the sky, correct? Good. At a different time of year, it's a different position in the sky as well. Same way. And you get to a specific point where you know on the star map where you are aligned. And that kind of correlates with different facet of your personality. So you have your star sign. There's 12, not 13, 12. And then there are 12 houses. And normally speaking, usually what happens is the first house and your star sign don't necessarily align. Think of like
mine are polar opposites.
2 wheels in a bracket, okay? If you just turn the inner wheel, which is when you were born, so let's say I was born June 8th, so I'm a Gemini. That's the first one. And then you have the second layer, which is a little bit bigger, more broad. It aligns a little bit different. So the first house and your birth date or your birth sign are supposed to be aligned. And the bigger circle has a lot to do with your personality and how you deal with certain things. I don't remember the names of the houses, but the first one is the personality.
Atreides, Harkonnen.
No. Those are the great houses. Don't confuse with the great houses. So no, the first house is your personality. Second house, I don't remember. So family, ego, like all the family, money, those sort of things. So how you deal with money is very close to what you know about the let's say Scorpio. You know things about people who are Scorpio. They're vengeful, they're blah, 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 whatever. And then you switch it over, and that's how you deal with the money situation. A Capricorn, that's how you deal with your family situation. It gets that complex. And then if you're true introspective and you look at yourself, how do you deal with things? I have a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with Gemini that are very much Leo. But it comes off in different situations.
Okay, I gotta say this. That was the most horoscope way to say that you're not a horoscope guy.
Yeah, horoscope is in no, the sun is in a different place. Jupiter gets into alignment with Saturn, so that means that tomorrow is not a good day to do business. Dude, come on. No.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
You know what's crazy? They still don't know when actually the age of Aquarius starts, because it's supposed to be the time of, like, the point is it starts off rocky and then it cools off. So there's lots of war and then it's like peace and tranquility. So like every time there's a war.
Here's a hint about the age of Aquarius. It's bullshit. Do not believe in that.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I don't talk about horoscoping. I talk about astrology. Astrology has barely anything to do with horoscoping.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Latin America, only Mexico. Yeah, same shit.
No, not the same shit.
I don't never try to convince anybody when it talks about astrology. Look, have you ever heard about No, I'm serious. Have you ever heard about numerology and the power of numbers?
Yeah.
And the importance of naming your children in a specific name in order to give them certain powers. I'm paraphrasing, but powers. There's a power in a name because the letters, each letter is, especially in Judaism, each letter is a number. So our first letter is Aleph, which is A typically, or Alpha. It's number 1. B, number 2. It's not C, but it's G. It's in our Gimel, which is G, is 3, and going and going and going. There's, after the first 10, so it's 1 through 10, and then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, up until 100, and then it's 200, 300, 400. The last letter for us is T, technically speaking. That's 400. And then when you add the different letters to create a name, it creates a number. And that number has power. Because let's say, Martin, I'm throwing a number, 618. But it's also 6, a 1, and an 8. And that tells you different things. That's numerology. It goes way deeper than astrology. I'm not even joking. There are not books, yay books, like thick books about numerology. It's insane.
Wait, give me a second. Give me a second here. I have to greet somebody, and this is for you, my friend.
Hey, Bush.
Hey, Bush. And Keith is in the chat too. I hope he joins us here soon.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
As soon as you
Where are you, mister? Where are you?
Driving?
Well, if he's on his phone in our chat, then Mel is driving. And I think she usually is.
Still hungry and it's almost midnight.
Yeah, well, you ate a pastry. That shit is going to hype your blood sugar up and then crash it.
I know what's going to happen tomorrow morning. Don't worry.
I'm not worried. You're a grown-ass man. Just saying.
No.
I'm tired after eating stuff like that.
First of all, those French people know how to make pastries.
Oh, no question.
We went to France together. We're to Paris. It's not France. It's Paris. 2 years ago. And we lost a kilogram. And we ate a lot. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. This stream is gayer than George Michael at a highway rest stop.
What? Oh my God, Bush. Oh God.
Well, serves me right for growing up with a gay mom, I guess.
I grew up backstage in an opera house. You know how many gay people there are?
I read so many books about astrology. They're mostly really stupid. There was one though that was really good because they were, when people write like papers or have some sort of blogs or even a book, and it doesn't seem like they're trying to convince you of what they're thinking about. They're just giving you information and you're like, you go ahead, you apply that to the real world in your world and don't take my word for it. Just think about it. I found that very refreshing, to be fair. Very refreshing. It really is made me think about me rather than trying to categorize people. But I have to say this. My wife doesn't believe that shit. My kids don't even know about this shit, and they never heard about astrology before. However, all three of them were born really close to each other, and they all have rather similar personality. The two girls, so my daughter and my wife, have the feminine side of that personality, and my boy has the male version of that personality. And yes, it's very much like it's different, very different.
I mean, but this stuff doesn't come out of nowhere. That comes from watching people. Finding out what they have in common when they're born close to each other. That's where it comes from, all these characteristics of the star signs.
Yes, but do you think that like the kid automatically acts exactly like the adult?
No. Kids act like kids. Kids are irrational.
I mean, certain behaviors are learned. So if the parent throws trash on the ground and not in a wastebasket on the street, what would the kid do? That's not a personality trait. That's just learned behavior. I separate the learned behavior from the personality trait. The personality trait is when a person deals with a situation, talking to people, dealing with stressful situations, whatever it is, army, dealing with bureaucracy, different like stressful situations. Your true self comes out when you're drunk. Not a lot, a little bit drunk. That's where it really, you get the true sense of the person. And my kids were not drunk, but kids are kids.
Hopefully
and
not.
they still haven't really fully formed their personality yet. But I can tell they deal with the same things in the same manner as my wife does when they're separate from each other. That's why I'm saying I don't try to, get people to believe what I think. However, I find it very interesting that it happens in that particular way.
Oh my God.
What?
Look at it. Bush starts with this.
Yeah, he told us that before.
Yeah, but then Sanders tells him, if you have had it, the whole astrology wouldn't have been needed.
Oh, burn.
And then Bush says, no, she was a cokehead, not LSD. What have you been doing, Bush?
You into weird people.
It's called living a life, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, good thing you're not such a weirdo anymore, Bush. Oh, wait. He still is.
You're too sure about that. We don't know.
Don't worry, Bush. I'm a big weirdo. I don't care. I don't feel embarrassed by stuff I know. I just don't give a fuck anymore. Why do I care? Look, if I wasn't a little bit kooky, would I even be on the internet making content? I have to be a little bit kooky, and that's my like. I've got some kooky stuff, but I'm not that crazy.
You're just the right amount of crazy.
I don't care what you believe in. And I'm not trying to convince anybody. If you think astrology is stupid, then astrology is stupid.
I just found it interesting reading about the characteristics of the different star signs and looking at my insanely large family. How much of that is actually true?
Like I said, without actually calculating, like it's not just the exact time of the day that they were born. It's the year, because every year is different. And I think
one of my uncles was into that and did it for my mom and me. My brothers didn't want to do that, and then he got all hung up how I'm a Taurus and the whatever it's called, where the sun is when you're born. That's Scorpio, which is the exact opposite of the circle, and he found that so curious.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Man, whatever.
It's also like people use it to affirm their spouse selection.
Yeah,
I never really thought about it, but me and my wife are opposite and because let me explain. So there's the 4 elements, right? Remember, this is astrology. This is like a long time ago it started, not just
In a
books of
galaxy
today.
far away.
Exactly. So there's 12 signs. So every 3 signs are attributed an element. Some are fire, some are water, some are air, some are earth. Usually, you know the sentence "opposites attract" actually comes from that. What the initial meaning of it is, usually if you're trying to get a mate for life, usually the best choice is the opposite element. I don't remember what exactly it is, but I know that air and fire are opposite. So I'm guessing water and earth are opposite. Something like that. The whole point is if you're within your elements, there's always a friction of something.
I would have put it
I've
the
read
other
this
way
a
around.
long time ago, and that's like I've read 4 really huge books. One of them, like I said, one of them was really good, and the theories behind it are really intricate.
Aren't the opposites fire and water, and then earth and air? That's how I would put it.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Not it's not on the money. That's why I said I don't necessarily like are into that because stuff. But I never got really along with any of the very few women I've dated in my life. But the one that I have connected with and stayed with is the opposite element without like trying to. It wasn't something I was going for. It is what it is. It's not that there's look, I'm not really an expert, but it's something that I know about myself. Because when I did my own map, it's really easy. If you know your exact time of date, my map is spot on. Like spot on. It's exactly how I deal with family. It's exactly how I deal with money. It's exactly how I deal with other people. It's exactly how I deal with, there's one of the houses is death. Is technically how you deal with mortality and immortality. And it's very much spot on how I deal with death in my life. Death of an animal, death of a close person, and all that stuff. It's interesting. Tarot cards, no. The issue with me with tarot cards is the person who deals the cards
exactly
can manipulate the cards, especially if they're a trained con artist.
Yeah.
Because if you know what you're doing, normally it's a lady. I don't think people trust men with tarot cards, but usually it's a lady. If she knows what she's doing, it's a living for life. It's a very simple con if you know how to do it correctly. Very simple. And like any good con artist, you have to know people, what makes them tick, how they react to certain situations. And especially when you just remember this, just a guy off the street coming in to sit at your booth or your shop or your house, and you pull out these cards, and immediately from the first kind of chit chat with the person, you know which card you want to pull because kind of assessing how much money the guy has in his pocket or the lady has in her pocket. And usually the ladies, it's like a lady to lady thing. Generally speaking, that's from my experience. I've heard way more ladies go to opening tarot cards, reading tea leaves, reading coffee grounds, horoscope, all that stuff. It's very much a con that tricks ladies more than other people. We're really introspective today. I didn't think about. I'll talk about stupid shit today. It's really stupid.
I don't even know how we got there, but
Avatar sucks.
Oh yeah. Somebody mentioned mentalism. Gerry and I just started watching the Mentalist again.
We got here because Gerry is stubborn, and Mev says that it was because of his birthday.
Yeah, well, I'm a Taurus too, so we're not opposites in that way.
Yeah. There's do you agree there's certain levels of stubbornness? So a person could be stubborn about one thing, but he won't be stubborn about something else.
Yeah.
And as an outside person, you're like, you're so adamant on this. Why are you not adamant on the other? You're like, if you're a stubborn person, you might be stubborn about. It seems like you would be stubborn about anything.
No,
because that wouldn't be that
good stubborn and stupid stubborn.
No. That wouldn't be because stubborn. In that case, that precise stubbornness is not a character trait. It's based on how much information or proclivity the person have about the matter.
Then you didn't understand what I said, I guess.
Probably.
There's
or Gerry like to say that I say probably.
Think about like soldiers giving ground. Okay, so you think about, okay, I will defend this line or this fort, but I will not defend this moat. Why? I don't know. I think the fort is more important. And it doesn't matter if it is or it isn't. So if you're talking about a person, he'll be stubborn about, I don't want to use cash. I use credit all the time. Why? Because I don't like money in my pocket. I know how much I spend. I don't want to spend this amount of cash. However, if I go out and to a vending machine, I don't want to pay a vending machine with credit card. I have to have cash. That's a completely different stubbornness about money that I can think of. So, like Gerry would be stubborn about a certain subject.
Guys, we can't let this go on. Keith is here.
Okay.
He has stuff to say.
Save us, Keith.
Hello, everybody.
Hey. How are you, friend?
Hey, Martin, I see you're alive. My goodness.
Barely, but he's there.
And I'm so sorry that you have to postpone the show for my.
Don't worry. No. Your health is way more important, my friend. It's good to be around you guys. So, and just to, it's always good to hang out with all of you guys. Been trying to check out the show while I was out and about. You guys have good content. So.
Well, we have Gerry drawing these days, but it's fun to just hang out and talk about the shit that's going on or what we have going on.
Oh, well, there's quite a few things going on right now.
Yep.
So let's just jump into that. Have you guys had a chance to talk about
Nope.
Okay, well, let me just start out with the big one then. Jennifer Salke exiting Amazon Studios, and by exit, we put.
He was a problem at Amazon.
Yeah, basically, basically, what you have is a situation where there was a lot of money that has been spent, and I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say. A Hollywood Reporter reported that she is going to start a new production outfit, and she has an overall first look deal with film and television at Amazon. Let me translate that for you. Basically, they politely pushed her out the door, and she was given this deal to help soften the blow.
Okay, just to let you guys know who she is. She's the one who ruined Conan being at Amazon.
Yeah.
She did a little bit more than that, Gerry. She ruined Lord of the Rings.
Actually, no, that deal. Let me clarify something. There's a lot you can accuse her of. That deal was already in progress when she got there. The actual particulars of that deal and what that series was at least planned to be was done before she got there. She just made sure that everything went the way that the powers that be wanted it to go on that show. Okay. Right. There's a lot.
Wait. Before I lose it, because if I don't say it now, I'll lose it. So she didn't buy the sick horse. She just shot him in the head.
She provided the bullet.
Thank you.
She knew what it was going to be used for, and she provided the ammunition.
Yeah.
So basically, I'll continue to do this. Read this. Jennifer Salke is stepping down as the head of Amazon MGM Studios. The announcement was made in an internal email by the Amazon MGM Studios head, Mike Hopkins. Okay. Here's the thing. One would think that just with Rings of Power alone, that would have been enough to get her fired. In fact, her stepping down has nothing to do with Rings of Power at all. What happened was, and this is going to be ironic, given how much money they've spent on Rings of Power, close to $1 billion for this show, and it looks like they're still going to try to do the whole 5 years. What the inside word that I heard was it was the television series it was the television series called Citadel that did
it. Yeah.
$300 million for 6 episodes, and nobody really watched.
Somebody went away with a lot of money in their pocket.
Well, that's the thing. The way it was explained to me, it was a decent enough idea what the actual idea for Citadel was, but it wasn't executed very well. Okay?
Well, it got executed.
Well, let me explain what I mean. The actual idea was that Citadel was meant to be a television series that had many different parts to it. And that each version of Citadel was actually meant to play to a different audience in a different area of the world. Okay? So the basic idea was you would have a television series that existed in many different parts, and people could watch whatever was the one closest to where you lived, but also be interested enough to watch a show based in a different country, even though it's part of the same organization, but with a different group of characters. And that they were trying to create this massive show that was technically interconnected, but could be seen separately within the story that they were trying to tell for their individual section. Okay? So the best way to explain it would be Star Trek. You have Star Trek The Next Generation, and it was made here in the United States. Star Trek Deep Space Nine would take place and be filmed in England. Star Trek Voyager then would be filmed in India, and Enterprise would be filmed in Canada. Or in this case, let's say, let's pick another country, say Russia. Okay. So each version of the show would have its own characters and storyline, but ultimately you would find that they all kind of merged together a little bit with the story, the overall story they were trying to tell. And that was the idea behind Citadel. Unfortunately, when they had the first version of it come out, nobody watched, basically. It basically stiffed at the box office, or stiffed on the show, on the channel. So that was really what did it for Jennifer Salke, because she was sold the idea, she bought into it, she put all of her, she put everything she had behind that idea, and was helping to drive that through at Amazon. And that didn't work out so well. Now, one would think, well, why would she do that? Because it was the Russo brothers behind the show. And unfortunately for her, it didn't work out so well. And seems like the powers that be at Amazon just decided that losing $300 million was just too much, a bridge too far for them. I'm still trying to work that out, considering they just basically dropped $1 billion in a show that isn't doing. But hey, you know, I'm not complaining. Jennifer Salke's gone. I will give her credit because she took Conan out back and basically executed Conan. That's really what gave us. That's really what gave us House of the Dragon. The people behind Conan turned around and just went to HBO Max and created House of the Dragon. That's basically what happened. So there you go. So that's the first big story. There seems to be some discussion right now after yesterday's big 5-hour plus unveiling of Avengers Doomsday. And again, let me ask, anybody here sit through the entire thing?
No.
Anybody else? No? Good, because we're all smart then. There are actually people that tried to sit through a good portion of that, and I was out after 15 minutes. I really did try to stay with it, but I was out. I had to go.
Okay, fine. I won't talk about astrology. Holy shit. I'm joking, Keith. I'd keep going, man. I'm sorry. My opinion is the fucking news about entertainment interests me zero.
Oh, but I'm sorry. Well, I was okay. I just
no. Continue. It's just I'm a guest. You're in charge of this ship.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm making so many sarcastic jokes. I'm just trying to make you understand why the firing of Jennifer Salke means absolutely zero in my world, because A, she's not in charge of anything I liked. B, she has no effect. And C, even if she was, I don't think the artists that make the stuff that we like to consume have anything to do with her, really. Because if she hires bad artists, you get bad art. And it could be music, television, movies, all that stuff. If she hires bad artists to do a bad job, then you either don't consume it or consume it and you're like, nah, it's stupid. move on. That's how I've come to the realization that these people are fucking atrocious. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy has her name on my favorite movies, but it's also a Spielberg movie, a Lucas movie, a Zemeckis movie, and I don't mean like Spielberg from 2020. It's Spielberg in the 80s or 90s. It's Zemeckis in the 80s. It's Lucas in the 70s, specifically just the 70s, maybe early 80s. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, kind of connected to that, then, is the story about the two producers who will be coming in to handle the Bond IP. In this case, Amy Pascal and David Heyman. So let me at least try to break it down for you as to the reason why they were picked. There's actually a little bit of logic and history as to the reason why this happened. I had to dig deep for this, so here you go. Amy Pascal. Wow, everybody's favorite former head of Sony. Here's the thing. Amy Pascal actually has a working or previous working relationship with Eon Productions, Barbara and Michael. And she especially really got along very well with Barbara Broccoli. Okay? Amy Pascal, turns out, was allowed to have some input on some of the previous Bond films. One of the films that she had a lot of input into was Skyfall. And because of that working relationship, it would appear that that was one of the things that I think Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson probably put a bug in Amazon's ear about at least hiring Amy Pascal. So basically, in much the same way that George Lucas was responsible for giving us Kathleen Kennedy, putting her as part of the deal, I think it's safe to say that Amy Pascal was part of the deal technically for Eon Productions and Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson to give up creative control in exchange for that $1 billion and making sure that Amy Pascal was there.
Hey, we have stats here. So
hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Subject. Anyway, a lot of us here know Amy Pascal from some of the really bonehead ideas that have come out of Sony over the years. And while as fans of pop culture, we may not like what she's done, when it comes to things outside of pop culture, Amy Pascal, at least to the powers that be, seems to be someone who might have an idea or two about what she's doing. I may not personally agree with everything she's done, but she does seem to be able to do her job. Personally, given some of her personal ideas that she's had about things, especially the Spider-Man franchise, and how, in my opinion, she's part of the reason why the franchise went a certain direction. She was the one that came up with the whole doing the Aunt May spin-off movie, which even me just saying those words out loud, it's a dumb idea. It's just a dumb idea. It doesn't get any better after all these years. I think Amy's just there to be a hands-on representative for Eon Productions. Okay. That takes us to David Heyman. Now, David, on the other hand, is someone who I have a lot of faith in. The job he was able to do with Harry Potter, specifically what he was able to accomplish before even the first film came out. The only reason why those films were able to have basically anything to do with the books is because of how hard David Heyman fought. Some of you may not know that originally the powers that be at Warner Brothers, and we're talking Warner Brothers circa 1996, 97, 98. So David Zaslav wasn't even a thought back then. I think Kevin Tsujihara was working a different area, and there was somebody else, a completely different group of executives and people in charge. And their idea was to try to get the entire thing made in the United States. They were the ones that were trying to push for making it here in America and couldn't understand the reason why it could not be done here. But one of the ideas that they were really pushing for was that they would have conceded having Harry be British, but that all the other roles were to eventually be played by Americans. And David Heyman stuck to his guns and got the whole thing done in the UK. He will fight for that. That and the fact that he's British himself, I think, is one of the upsides to having him connected to the Bond franchise. I think he will try to fight to keep Bond close to what he was in the novels, which is really the secret to, again, as Gerry and I have said in the past, that's really the secret to Timothy Dalton's performance and why we believe him to be the best Bond outside of Sean Connery.
Amen. And by the way, I love that video, and I'm glad you shared that with me.
Yeah.
That Christopher Nolan
agrees with us.
Agrees with us that Timothy Dalton was the closest to Bond we ever got.
Yep. If Bond were a real person, that would be the Timothy Dalton version that he would try to do. And I think for Amazon, if they were to try to hire, if they really look, according to them, he is the guy. If he remains a part of whatever they're going to do, the combination of having Christopher Nolan and David Heyman, I think, would be an upside to everything. If they pull the trigger on that, no pun intended. So as Bond fans, I feel best about that. I think Christopher Nolan would be a great choice. The only thing I would be worried about then would be who you would cast as Bond.
Yep. And at this point, the one that I think would have been good a few years ago, I would probably go with an unknown.
Yeah. At this point, you might as well go with an unknown. There's been so much made about this. There's so many people talking, so many people wanting to put their fingers in this pie. You might as well just go with a complete unknown and just do that. As much as I would like Henry Cavill to do it, Henry Cavill's working on other things, and he's reached the upper limits of the age of the character. I really do believe that
35 is where you want to start Bond.
And nothing past 43, 44. I think
as far as initial casting.
If you don't want an unknown and obviously Henry won't do it. He won't. I would go with
he's worth too much now.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. That would be my bet. That would be my choice. If it's somebody that is known.
Okay.
He can pull it off. Aaron Taylor Johnson, kick-ass the early role, but
I know him.
But I loved him in Bullet Train. That is my favorite role. If he doesn't do any other movie, and he doesn't even do Bond, I want him to star in a Guy Ritchie crime drama, a la Snatch or Gentleman or Lock, Stock. One of those.
You know what? I like that idea, and I think that Bullet Train was very well done. I have to at least give them that. I think Bullet Train was just well choreographed, well done. And look, he seems to be willing to do whatever it needs to be done, and he's a trooper. He's in good shape. And as of right now this year, he's 34 years old. So he's right there.
I'm for picking.
Yeah. Let's just call it. Do a 3 movie deal with him. So, you get 2 years per production, writing and all that stuff, and just get going. Even if the first one takes a little bit more than 2 years, then the next couple will take a little bit less because you've already got a team set up. The writers can already start on the second one and the third one. So you'll have that set up. But I don't know if they think that far ahead.
Well, there's also a lot more. Look, Gerry and I have said this before, and it is outside of what we've said before, the only other thing that I am really passionate about is that maybe they should be looking at adapting more books, because
the Gardner books absolutely should be done as their own separate thing. Older Bond, absolutely.
With older Bond, that's where I would put Henry Cavill. I would wait another.
Or Idris Elba is perfect too.
Or Idris Elba, he'd be perfect right now. I would do the Gardner books, and I would do them full on, meaning I would do them like Reacher, where instead of making those a movie, I would just do it as a limited series, because Gardner put a lot into his book.
You and I talked about this before, Keith, that do each season as one of the books, the Gardner books.
Yes.
As a mini series. Each season will be a different book, same actor. And I think that would be fucking brilliant. And I guarantee you get viewership.
Oh, big time. Big time. That's the great thing about how they do Reacher, is that it gives the writers time to truly explore everything. But given how much material each Gardner book has in it, you're still going to probably leave a few things out. He wrote so much material for each of the books that he did. And size-wise,
it's got a built-in female character with Felix Leiter's daughter, who is now a CIA operative.
And that's really, it's got its own grouping of characters. It has many storylines that follow from book to book to book, kind of like what they were doing with the Fletch books, in a way. I think it's all set to go, and I think Idris Elba would do it. I really do think he would. Now, would it be good for him to do it at this point?
I think it would be very good for him, because
from
Luther's over. Luther is over, dude.
Yeah.
And he needs a paycheck.
Well, I'm thinking from the point of view of, at this point, yeah, he'd definitely get paid for it. He wouldn't do it for free. But there's this whole creative thing. Once you've had creative input in something, once you've done that, it's hard to give that up so that you could totally have other people make decisions for you. And Bond is such that while he would probably give up some creative control with the first project, he would want some input on all future projects. And that's the only downside about hiring someone who, especially someone that's older, because they know their time is valuable. They know that now is the time. You can't afford to just sit something out. You can't do that. And given some of the recent reports, you really want to know what would be kind of a cool twist for the Gardner books is Idris Elba as Bond and have Pierce Brosnan as M.
That would
they got a
be
reaction.
Almost too cool.
Well, they were trying to get Sean Connery to be in Skyfall. And the part they had for him would have been perfect. But they weren't able to make that happen.
You said, fuck it, I'll just die.
He was, the part that they had for him was written for him. Now, the actor who they got, Albert Finney, he does a pretty good job, but I think Connery would have been perfect.
Albert Finney. Wait a minute. What the fuck are we talking about?
Skyfall.
Oh, as his dad.
No, that's not his dad.
Wait, the caretaker. He was the caretaker.
Caretaker of Skyfall, yeah. The one who ended up taking care of young Bond after finding out his parents had died.
His
That's the
Alfred.
reason why. Yeah, that's his Alfred. Yes. So, that would be fantastic. There's still a few people that could come in and do little things like that, but I think Pierce Brosnan would be perfect. He's about 12 years outside of being able to come back to do the Gardner stories. Because that would have been fantastic. And going back to Aaron Taylor Johnson, I like his chemistry with Brian Tyree Henry. They had great chemistry in Bullet Train, and anything that they could do together in the future would be fantastic. They have such great chemistry. Who I would put Brian Tyree Henry as, I have no idea. But anything they can get him to be in, that'd be fantastic. Yeah. So there you go. Outside of that and the Marvel debacle from yesterday, which
That's
in no way
ridiculous.
I said it before and I'll say it again. To Disney, to Marvel Studios, why don't they just, I don't know, I mean, there's a way that you can do this to where you can almost save yourself a lot of heartache and headache without having to strain yourselves or hire people that aren't into what you're doing. When you advertise anything, you have to believe in what you're selling. And for a long time now, it just seems like a lot of the marketing people connected to Disney, those people got no faith in anything. They can't sell me. I mean, nothing that they've advertised to me looks good at all. It's almost like they've all just lost the will to do their jobs correctly. But I don't know. It might just be me. I don't know. But
no, it's not just you.
I think what they
Bye,
should do.
Penny.
Bye, Penny.
Bye, Penny.
Have fun at Starbucks.
Get me a coffee while you're there.
I think they should go ahead and hire the team that worked with Ryan Reynolds to do all.
Boy, he needs someone to help him right now.
True. But
he should not have involved himself in that situation.
I think whenever he's
what situation?
done,
his wife.
and a lot of legal stuff going on, and his wife.
He's being sued too. He's included in that lawsuit.
Yeah, he is.
It's going to hurt him.
Is it a thing or is it bullshit?
No, it's a thing, and it was dumb on his part to do what he did.
Ah, damn it.
Go ahead.
Wait, what are we talking about? Sorry, I lost you. Whose lawsuit?
It's a lawsuit really about Ryan Reynolds' wife. And
that.
Yeah, they're both fucked. Sorry.
It's anybody that's got anything against either one of them, they're coming out of the woodwork right now. They got their knives sharpened and they're ready to go.
I would imagine Disney.
He should have done the emotional support thing and just left it at that. He shouldn't have got himself involved.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure some Disney executives that really hated the fact that Deadpool and Wolverine did good, and and they didn't get the credit. Ryan got the credit for it. Are really pissed, and they would resort to some shenanigans behind the scenes.
If you are a short-sighted DA to the point where you would want to embarrass and or try to get rid of Ryan Reynolds, that is basically pretty much the same thing as Kevin Feige dousing himself in gas and deciding to light up a cigarette. You get rid of Ryan Reynolds now, your shelf life at this point, I mean, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then it's not a question of if, but when it will be over. If you do that, if they do that. I'm telling you right now, Kevin Feige's been running everything, literally trying to think of stuff, trying to create things since the end of phase 3. And we have seen how it has gone. Now, I got nothing against Kevin Feige personally. I got nothing against the guy. I'm just saying, as someone that has observed, as someone that has paid for, as someone that has been a fan of even Marvel Comics all my life, what they did phases 1 through 3 is pretty much the best example of what any company could do when they start their own film studio and decide to translate their own characters to film. Kevin Feige should have just retired when Endgame came out right on top. The fact that he stayed and was a part of every decision that went down. Don't believe him when he tries to act like he wasn't. He's the guy in charge. Okay? There is no version of any of this that you can tell where it seems like Kevin Feige doesn't have any responsibility. He has a lot of responsibility, and a lot of the decisions that had to be made had to go through him. Where Marvel is right now, he has to take a good portion of the blame for, if not all of it. And it's not in a good place.
I'll
It is
I'll give
not
you
in a
the
good place.
I'll give you the difference between Kevin Feige and Ryan Reynolds at the simplest thing. Deadpool Wolverine had lots of cameos, right?
Yes.
Each cameo got a crowd reaction, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Why?
Kevin,
Why
yeah.
did you release a video to the ether, to the internet, displaying the names of the people who have a role in your next movie in order to sell the movie? You've ruined the water cooler moment. You've ruined it.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Okay, look, let me tell you something. Outside of Robert Downey Jr. and maybe Chris Hemsworth, any of the names released yesterday, are any of those names of people that get you truly excited outside of Kelsey Grammer, outside of anybody that was working outside of Disney 7 to 8 years ago? Is there any name connected with what they did yesterday that gets you truly excited? Because I'll tell you right now, my answer is a big fat no. No, none of those names.
It's Keith. It's not about the name. It's about a character.
I know.
A character appearing on the screen where you did not expect them to be in that particular moment.
I don't think.
Let me give an example.
Yeah.
What is the single best moment in the second Doctor Strange movie, which wasn't really about Doctor Strange? That moment where Krasinski was on screen as Richards.
Yes, but it got ruined by the fact that entire scene, as Gerry will attest, was just dumbly written.
It's not
hey guys,
about the scene.
Hey,
it's
villain
not
of the day.
About...
I have a hero here who can use a specific power, and that specific power is their voice. So God help him if you did anything to stop him from being able to do that thing.
You still didn't You still don't get what I'm saying.
No,
it's
I get
not
what you're
about.
saying.
It's not about if the movie is good or not. It's not about if the character is good or not in the movie. It's not about nothing. If you want people to go into your movie, okay, one of the moments, except for the good story that has to be there, one of the things that you can do to trick the audience into A, coming back, and B, telling their friends to show up because, oh, you have no idea what the fuck was going on, is that moment. Did you notice whatever they say about Doctor Strange, made money, not made money, how much did it pull in the box office? About 900 million? And apparently that wasn't enough to be as successful. Who knows? Who cares?
Yeah.
But it still made $900 million. You know why? Because you had Patrick Stewart, who was there. Nobody expected him to be there. And you had Krasinski there. Nobody expected him to be there. And you had Haley Atwell show up. Nobody expected her to be there, right? Nobody, unless you were into the weeds, and let's face it, we're different. We're into the weeds. Unless you actually knew it was coming, you had a moment. That moment carries out into a water cooler moment. Not necessarily a water cooler, but people tell people, and then the movie gets a buzz going. It's something that is missing. All the other Marvel movies didn't get a buzz going. The only two that has a buzz was Doctor Strange Mom, which wasn't really Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange Mom and Deadpool Wolverine. Regardless of what you think about the story in there, Deadpool Wolverine has not got a really good story. It has a decent story.
All I heard was weeds.
Decent. No, it's a hope and Deadpool and Wolverine is a modern day Marvel version of a Hope and Crosby Road film. That's what it is, you know, and it's really a variation, one long joke is really what it is, and it works because you have a director and two really good actors who bought into what they were trying to do. And all of the cameos and stuff, all of the little jokes and stuff that they write in there are in service not just to the fans, but in many ways they're in service to the actors who are spending, you know, giving precious time to make that joke work. The reason why that scene that you're talking about in Doctor Strange Mom works is because it's a lot of pent up nerd feelings about it. But the actual scene is poorly written. It would have been great if it had been better written. It would have been fantastic if it had been written by people who actually gave a blank about the characters that were on screen and what they could possibly accomplish with those characters. But unfortunately, Kevin Feige and his people were doing so much in the way of trying to do what they've done for many movies leading up to that was never going to work. Remember, Kevin Feige had basically full control over Doctor Strange Mom. And you had a director that...
Keith, stop.
Yes.
Stop.
I'm stopping.
The normal going person that goes into the theater doesn't know who Kevin Feige is.
No, I get what you're saying.
That's number one. Wait. I've got another point. Yes. I agree with you. That scene made no sense. Look at I'm explaining my perspective. I have no frame of reference about some of these characters are, but I have no idea who Black Bolt is. I have no idea who Captain Britain is. I just know Peggy, but that's the only frame of reference. I have no connections to the comic book whatsoever. And that scene still didn't do anything for me, especially, and that's the only thing I know, is what you've set up with Dr. X, Dr. Xavier. Dr. Xavier will never, ever, ever lose a mental fight. Ever. Professor X. Whatever. Xavier. He will never lose a mental fight that is going on in his own brain. And that is set up in TV shows, movies, comic books. That is the culmination of what happened. Not the Black Bolt being dead, not fucking Spaghetti Man getting spaghettied, not everything. It's that moment, for me at least, that broke me. That whole scene fell apart. That whole scene fell apart.
Look, I don't think you and I truly are disagreeing. What I'm saying is the quality of what you are presenting is the difference. In other words, when you look at, if you really want to compare moments, you can pick almost any moment from the beginning of phase 1 all the way to Endgame. And it doesn't matter if you are a Marvel fan from way back reading the comics, or you're someone who got into animation, or you're someone who just was recently at that point a Marvel fan and only knew what the MCU told you. You can pick any moment from Iron Man to Endgame, and it's still way better than any moment you can name pretty much out of anything that's come since then. And the reason why that is that you creatively had a bunch of people who gave a damn about what they were doing. And that inspires your talent. When the creatives know what they're doing and they give a damn, the talent can do amazing things. You can achieve so much. You don't have to have wasted scenes. You don't have to have poorly written scenes. Everything works. Versus a film where, you pull out this one moment here And while the rest of the film sucks, it's this one moment here. And I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that it really does count when everybody's on the same page and creatively, the people in charge creatively give a damn. That's what Kevin Feige's missing. That's what his ego doesn't allow him to do. Look, Kurtzman Trek could work if Alex Kurtzman actually gave a damn. No. I'm telling you right now, Kurtzman Trek could work if Alex Kurtzman actually gave a damn. He doesn't. He never did.
He doesn't even know anything about Star Trek.
He doesn't know anything.
Today
on Crossfire.
Oh, did I just hear Mike's sweet voice? Hi, Mike.
It's
Hi.
Look, Keith.
How's it going?
You read.
Hello.
I'm the only one who said hi to him so far.
I know.
I just
Thank you,
did.
Gerry.
Those
and
students are
Anima.
talking.
And
You don't
Martin,
put
who
people in
hasn't
front
even
of the
said
crossfire.
anything.
First of all, I like the crossfire reference. It creates good entertainment for the people. I don't think me and Keith disagree about a lot. We're talking about the minutia of things. Do I agree with Keith that Kevin Feige completely missed the mark on everything beyond Phase 3? 100% I agree with Keith. Do I think that entire scene is a terrible scene, terribly written by people who don't know the characters, don't know the background, and what they did is made assumptions that made no sense for the people, especially people who've been following, let's say, Marvel, as in the first X-Men movie, even like Blade, but let's say the first X-Men movie, and building out to the point where you got Doctor Strange 2. Okay, there is a moment. And yes, I agree with Bush. Yes, people went to Doctor Strange 2 mostly because they liked the first Doctor Strange. Yes, that's true. But also, Doctor Strange 2 has moments in them. Moments that you can either sell on a trailer, or if you want to keep it a surprise, you don't put them on the trailer, and then either you leak a rumor in the press that some actor that has some sort of role, they love to do that. They love to leak these certain things, and you don't know if the rumor is true or not, but people are expecting certain things. People who are in the know, who hear these rumors, expect these kind of things. And when they happen, they love to sit back and everybody cheers, and they just, everybody cheers because I know that they put this in because the
Yeah, it's the little things you have to do to pump up the fact that you are giving them stuff that isn't as top tier in quality as what they had received before. Those little tricks you didn't have to have in phases 1 through 3. Now you have to do those things, and you try to mitigate the mess that you've made since then. For my money, and I've said this before, we're talking to Gerry, I personally am of the belief that if this isn't going to lead to a complete rebooting of what they're doing, then really this is just going to be watching an entire franchise lose fans.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What I'm gonna say here, I'm gonna give a little bit of a comparison, so to speak. Okay, and it's gonna be on a small show that's on Netflix, compared to the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, and Kevin Feige. All right, and I just talked about it. Just a little over an hour ago on my show. Right. You have, on one hand, you got Kevin Feige and the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, and what he did, first of all, in the first 10 years, great, fantastic, They had a plan, they stuck with the plan, and it paid off. And then it's like they're kind of lost steam. It's like, well, what do we do now? It's like, oh, I don't know, right? And then everything, as we know, went totally 100% off the rails, right? It's a mess, and they know it's a mess, right? And because I've given my reasons before, that like once Stan Lee passed away, it's like, okay, fine, Dad's out of the room, we can do whatever the hell they want. And it didn't work out for them because why? They do not respect, and they blatantly said that they don't read the comic books, they don't respect the creators, they don't respect everything that came before, and look how it's panned out. Now, you got a small little show that's on Netflix that came out a little over a year ago that's called One Piece, the live action Netflix One Piece that's out, right? And then you have director Mark Jobst that literally, when he was researching One Piece, he literally read all of the manga, all of the anime, and he even contacted Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, and he collaborated with him on how everything should be done. The way the whole thing looks, the way universe looks, the way the characters are, and on top of that, the actors themselves playing the roles even watched One Piece, and they totally got into it and totally respected everything that Oda-san made concerning the entire One Piece universe. And that thing got the highest ratings above everything else that was currently on Netflix at that time. And now that season 2 has wrapped up last month in February, and season 2 should be coming out on Netflix later on this year, probably, I'm going to guess, around August. That's going to get even bigger ratings than it was before because they did everything right. It doesn't matter what the characters are, who ends up showing up in the Marvel universe. It doesn't matter, what actors you're going to be bringing back or anything like that. If you do not respect the history that went into making it in the first place, it's going to end up shit.
And all the normies out there don't care. They can tell them.
Yeah.
When normies went to all of the Marvel films during phases 1 through 3, they didn't read the comics. They had to go to their nerd friends and ask, "Hey, what was this? What was that?" But they had a good time.
And then they were nerdified. And then most of them were nerdified that they wanted to go back to the comics and read it. And it's like, wow, this is actually really, really good shit, right? And that's the way it should be. Right?
Yep.
But now you got all of these people that are writing and directing these movies, and they've all admitted it. No, we didn't. We were told not to read any of the comics. We were told not to go into any of the source material, blah, blah, blah. And how did that work after Endgame? Shit after shit after shit. All of it.
So
if you don't respect the past, your future is going to be crap.
That's right.
This is as simple as that.
The word nerdified.
Yeah, nerdified. Patent pending, trademarked, stamped.
I think ultimately, the money that you make should be the determining factor.
Yeah.
And but also balanced with how much money you had to spend to get there.
Yeah.
And that's more about discipline and preparedness and really respecting your company, the people that you work for and with, and respecting really the people who gave you all that money in order to complete the job. If you're wasting all of that stuff, then, because seriously, the Marvels, if that had been made for $125 million, that thing would have.
You could have made it good with
so much money.
$125 million.
Yes,
You could have, but you
yes.
chose not to. Like a friend of
Yes.
mine on the show today, Al Nickerson, okay? And he worked at Marvel and DC and Nickelodeon and MTV and all that jazz. He said, you know what? You know what creators should do? They should have a creative consultant when Hollywood goes to these guys to make their comic, their book, whatever, into a movie or a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And they all because let's face it, I mean, hey, if Hollywood came knocking at your door and said, we want to make your comic into a movie, we think it's awesome, who's going to say no to a few $1 million? I mean, I'll admit it. Yeah, I would totally 100%.
Unless it's Disney, of course, then you're lucky if they're going to give you $1 million.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it goes with any studio house, right? Doesn't matter if it's Paramount, doesn't matter if it's Fox, well, not Fox anymore, but Warner Brothers or any of them, right? Creators should have a creative consultant that's on their side to say, well, okay, you really like this book? You really think it has a chance? Okay, fine. As the creator, I want to be part, and I will have final say on every step along the way that this TV show or movie is being made. If not,
hard to negotiate. Yeah, it's hard to negotiate, but that's the other, and this brings me back to something I had talked about before. That's the reason why David Heyman should have a lot of you Bond fans excited, because he will make sure that they stick to the source material. That is David Heyman's job.
Yep.
Because he did that with Harry Potter.
See, because creators don't know this. They actually got Hollywood by the balls right now, right? That they can yank off in a second, because Hollywood is so depraved right now, and they are so suffering for original content that literally creators actually have the upper hand in this. Because all that Hollywood can do right now is make stupid remakes that end up flopping anyway.
Well,
and crap like that.
That's because it's corporate, it's tech Hollywood, really. All the tech bros that have taken over have ruined filmmaking and during this period. And that's all it's plug and play is what it is. And Jennifer Salke, I think, is the one who pissed off Barbara Broccoli. I think she was the one that called Bond content.
Yep.
And that's really what pissed off Barbara Broccoli.
Yep.
You can't do that.
And Gerry, I love that feminazi haircut.
That little slip of the tongue cost him $1 billion.
This looks like Mike.
I know it does.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Douglas, but for some reason it resembles you.
I'm honored, and you got my visage just right, even the lower chin there. So there you go. Yeah,
thank you. Jowls.
It's like Richard Nixon jowls.
Oh, that brings back memories.
Well, I hate to do this, guys. It's the end of the show, so we need to wrap up. Yeah, I know. Oh. Good discussions. Good talking. Yeah.
Hey, Mephisto, it's always good talking to you, buddy.
Always good talking to you. Regardless, I told you, we agree on like 98%.
Yeah.
So it's that 2% where it's intent is we don't actually know these people. So we don't know. But we do have experience in life to kind of give us a little bit of, the inside baseball of how things kind of work, because we've seen a lot. You've seen more than me, but I've seen quite my share.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yes.
So let's see.
One of the oldest here.
I'm the oldest. So,
Gary's so old he belongs in a museum.
Penny had to. That's right. Penny had to leave, but thank you for watching the show today, Penny. We appreciate it. Hope you have a good time at the coffee shop. Sandra Hammerslag, Gambit, 1987, Bush McFadden, Shinatsky, FKHC 2005. And the first person in the room today was Tom Baker.
Mm.
Oh.
And we had some great commentary today. Did I name everybody?
Sure.
Was
Martin,
that
because
everybody?
remember I left and had to come back.
Yep.
Boosh.
Boosh, boosh,
That
boosh.
time of day when you can say.
Yeah. So, but that's it, guys. Mephisto, thanks for dropping in, buddy. Mike,
Sure.
I'm glad you were able to make it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're drawing or not.
No.
Or is it just me drawing during the show?
He's probably celebrating. Congrats on the job, Mike.
I am. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
I drew.
So he finally got that job he always wanted, assistant crack whore.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's gonna be rough, but I can do it. I believe in me.
You got to help that main crack whore.
That's right. Going hunting for that dinosaur like a lot of puss.
Oh, no.
It was worth it just to have Keith turn his camera on.
Crikey.
If you break Keith, you have to see it.
Yeah,
oh,
I know.
wow.
yeah. I know that I'm going to say something fucked up, and it's going to make Keith laugh. And today's fucked up word was crack whore. No, worse than crack whore, assistant crack whore.
There we go.
That's it. Yeah, you demoted him.
It's way better than numerology.
Numerologist.
Oh God.
That's funny in and of itself, but assistant crack whore. That's
Assistant
Assistant
crack is
crack
the
whore.
best.
Listen, crack.
It's like Norm Macdonald once said this back in the 90s. He says, last year's worst job of the year was crack whore. This year, that honor goes to assistant crack whore.
Oh man.
I miss Norm Macdonald. All right, guys. Everybody have a great Friday. Thanks for hanging out while I drew. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw. I finished another page. That's it.
Sure.
That's another one in the can. So,
Well done.
yay.
Congratulations. I'm back on normal time, so it's 1 a.m.
Yay.
I don't know who gets excited about 1 a.m.
What? You guys jump on a Friday? We do on Sunday.
Between Thursday and Friday.
That's weird.
We are
Yes,
doing another
correct.
show tomorrow.
That's weird. That's correct.
Another drink and draw. Mike, are you going to be able to make it?
Yeah, I should be able to.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, because I started
Hopefully
Monday,
Joe
so-
can make it. So we'll do some more drawing, and eventually we'll actually drink booze. But for right now, I'm drinking green tea, which according to some people looks like my own piss.
I'm having
Hello,
beer.
my name is Simon.
I hate it. I
That's
hate it when you say
magnetic.
some people. Just say meth. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Muff.
So we are
Muff
going to
is
get out of
good.
here, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Big black mug.
Keith, thanks
I
for
hope
being able
that's
to make
coffee,
it.
Keith.
I hope your brother James is okay.
Oh, he is, and he said he was going to be listening. So,
Nice.
Oh, James. Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
oh man.
All right, man. Everybody have a great
that one.
Friday. Don't forget later we've got John getting his ass kicked by more whatever game he's playing.
I think it's still Fallout. So
Fallout.
And if anybody wants a movie recommendation for today, is watch Twitter. All the buildings in Thailand spilling the water because they built a ton of pools up there.
So good.
Yeah,
It's
I heard some
fucking
shit went down today. I'm
hilarious.
going to be checking it out when we get done here.
Yeah.
But
they had
everybody
an
have a
earthquake that
great
was
Friday.
something.
We'll see you for Drink and Draw tomorrow. Anima, thanks for being here. Martin, thanks for being the right side of my brain. And Keith, Mike, and Mephisto, hope to see you guys again soon. Everybody, y'all take it easy now. You hear?
And I-
Bye.